The richest person in the room isn't who you think. Here's the thing. The people flashing Rolexes, rocking designer outfits, and cruising in Lambos are often just leasing, financing, or drowning in debt, while the truly wealthy are usually the quiet ones, sipping black coffee in a plain t-shirt and worth more than everyone else in the room. A WealthX study backs this up, showing that nearly 67% of millionaires are self-made, and most don't flaunt it because wealth loves privacy. Today, we're breaking down 7 subtle signs that someone might be secretly wealthy. But before we jump in, quick stickman PSA. Hit that like button because, unlike a yacht, it's 100% free, and subscribing means you're basically investing in your brain's net worth. 1. They drive boring cars. The secretly wealthy often skip the flashy rides, and there's a surprising stat to back it up. According to Experian, 61% of people driving luxury cars actually make under $100,000 a year. In other words, many of the folks flexing in brand new BMWs or Mercedes are stretching their paychecks, not stacking wealth. Millionaires, on the other hand, quietly lean toward Toyotas, Hondas, or Fords, cars that get the job done without bleeding money on depreciation. Warren Buffett famously drove a Cadillac for years, not because he couldn't afford a Ferrari, but because he knew cars are a terrible investment the second they leave the lot. For the wealthy, vehicles are about efficiency, reliability, and practicality, not turning heads at red lights. They'd rather let their investments grow quietly than waste cash on chrome rims and designer plates. So if you see a modest sedan parked outside a multi-million-dollar home, chances are you've spotted the real thing. So next time you see someone pulling up in an everyday sedan, but it's parked outside a home worth millions, you may have just spotted what real wealth looks like. 2. They don't flash designer labels. Here's a plot twist. The people rocking Gucci belts and Louis Vuitton bags are usually spending, not stacking. Research by Thomas J. Stanley, author of The Millionaire Next Door, found that true millionaires rarely splurge on luxury fashion. And when they do, it's not to flash a logo, it's for quality that lasts. Their clothes are well-fitted, durable, and timeless, often indistinguishable from something far less expensive. Because wealth isn't about announcing to strangers, "Look what I can afford." It's about creating a life where your money works harder than your wardrobe. Quietly wealthy people prioritize comfort, utility, and longevity, while loud spending often signals insecurity. So if someone's truly wealthy, odds are you won't notice their outfit. They're blending in while their bank account stands out. 3. Their home is comfortable, not castle-sized. Now here's the irony. People assume wealthy folks live in mega mansions with 10 bathrooms. In reality, many of them live in normal, upper-middle-class neighborhoods. In fact, a Zillow study revealed that most U.S. millionaires live in homes valued under $500,000. They'd rather have a manageable mortgage than a golden prison that bleeds them dry. Secret wealth often looks like a house that's tidy, functional, and fully paid off, not a McMansion with 4 mortgages attached. 4. They talk about ideas, not purchases. Here's a subtle but powerful clue. Wealthy people talk about opportunities, investments, and growth. Broke people talk about the latest gadget they bought. Ever notice how some people can go an entire dinner without once flexing their spending? Instead, they'll ask questions, share insights, and genuinely listen. That just is not good manners. That's a mindset built on curiosity and long-term thinking. It's the old saying, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, but great minds discuss ideas. Wealthy people live in that last category. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, make sure to hit that like button. It helps more people discover this kind of content. 5. They have control of their time. Wealth is less about money and more about freedom. The secretly wealthy don't brag about their schedules. They own them. Instead of constantly saying, "I'm so busy," they carve time for health, family, hobbies, and travel. They've built systems through investments, businesses, or careers that let them decide how to spend their day. According to a Harvard study, time autonomy ranks higher for happiness than salary increases. So if someone has plenty of free time but still lives comfortably, you might be looking at hidden wealth. 6. They track their finances religiously. Forget once-a-year financial resolutions. The secretly wealthy don't wait until January to think about money. They have regular money meetings with themselves, weekly or monthly. It's not complicated. They review cash flow, investments, expenses, and upcoming opportunities. Why? Because you can't control what you don't measure. A 2019 Schwab survey found that people with a written financial plan are 60% more likely to feel financially stable. Wealthy people treat their finances like a business, checking the numbers, adjusting the plan, and making sure money works for them, not the other way around. It's not about obsessing over every coffee. It's about making the big picture add up. In short, they run the numbers before the numbers run them. 7. They avoid status games altogether. Here's the kicker. The wealthiest people you meet aren't even in the competition. They don't need to prove anything with what they own. Studies show that over 80% of millionaires never buy new luxury cars, and many couldn't care less about the latest flex culture. Why? Because money is a tool, not a scoreboard. Real wealth whispers. If someone seems totally uninterested in keeping up with the Joneses, chances are they've already lapped them. And this leads to a bonus sign that's one of the most underrated signs of hidden wealth. It's not in what they give, buy, or even say. It's in how they carry themselves. Bonus, they have an unshakable calm. When you meet someone truly wealthy, you'll notice they don't stress over small stuff. They're not panicked about gas prices jumping a few cents or whether the latest iPhone just dropped. Why? Because money buys freedom, and freedom buys peace of mind. According to a Princeton study, once financial stress is eliminated, people report significantly higher emotional well-being. That calmness, the ability to handle life without flinching, is often the biggest giveaway that someone's wealth runs deeper than appearances. So from boring cars to avoiding the status Olympics, these habits might not look glamorous, but they're exactly why the quietly wealthy stay wealthy. And the loudest flex in the room? Usually debt, not dollars. Let's have a quick recap. Let's run through those 7+1 bonus signs again. Secretly wealthy people often drive modest, reliable cars instead of flashy ones. And they don't feel the need to flaunt designer labels. Their homes are comfortable but not castles because space and peace matter more than square footage. When they talk, the focus is usually on ideas, not purchases. They value control of their time as much as their income. And they track money with the same seriousness as if it were a business. Most importantly, they've quietly opted out of the status Olympics altogether. And here's the bonus. They invest heavily in health and relationships. Knowing wealth without well-being is worthless. The pattern is clear. True wealth hides in simplicity, discipline, and freedom, not in logos, luxury leases, or endless hustle. And if you want more insights like these, subscribe for the next deep dive. We'll uncover even more money habits the wealthy don't advertise. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, secret wealth isn't about hiding. It's about quietly choosing freedom over flexing. The richest people aren't wasting energy trying to look rich because they're too busy actually being rich. They know what wealth isn't. It isn't the Rolex, the flashy car, or the Instagram vacation. It's waking up and owning your time, your choices, and your future. True wealth means being able to say no to things that don't serve you. And if you want to join them, it doesn't start with a lottery ticket or a miracle investment. It starts with small, consistent habits that prioritize freedom, not status. All right, Stickman fam, if you made it this far, you're already richer in knowledge than 99% of people still financing their flex. So smash that like button, drop a "quiet wealth is greater than loud wealth" in the comments, and subscribe because we've got way more coming. Remember, money talks, but wealth whispers. Stickman out.